Good morning. Here are the key material developments to watch today, starting globally, then moving to Australia and local items. Globally, the most immediate focus is the Middle East and its implications for energy, shipping and inflation. US and Iranian officials are reported to have reached a tentative deal to extend a ceasefire, still pending final sign-off. The central economic point is the Strait of Hormuz. The reported understanding would allow traffic to flow through the choke point, reducing the risk of supply disruption and a renewed spike in oil and freight costs. Even so, the Bank of England governor has warned that a ceasefire would not remove uncertainty, signaling policymakers remain cautious about declaring the inflation threat contained. In Europe, Russia's war in Ukraine continues to generate spillover risk. NATO and the EU have condemned Russia after a drone hit a residential block in Romania. Romanian authorities say the drone likely altered course after being hit over Ukraine by air defenses, and Romania is expelling a Russian consul. Separately, assessments cited by Al Jazeera indicate Russia's rate of losses in Ukraine has almost tripled over a year, while territorial movement remains largely at a standstill in 2026, pointing to a grinding conflict with persistent security and budget implications for Europe. On technology and artificial intelligence, the most concrete development in today's file is in the defense-adjacent entertainment space. The BBC reports the next Call of Duty game will be set around a controversial North Korean invasion scenario, with the developer promising military authenticity. While not a policy shift, it's another example of how geopolitical narratives are being industrialized through mass-market digital platforms, shaping public perceptions alongside traditional media. Turning to Australia, the dominant economic and political story is the government's tax and housing settings. Federal Health Minister Mark Butler has pushed back against forecasts suggesting Labor's tax reforms will hurt renters, arguing the modelling reflects vested interests from property groups. The Sydney Morning Herald reports that more than 1 million landlords are expected to escape changes to negative gearing due to grandfathering and carve-outs, which would blunt the immediate impact on existing investors while concentrating any behavioral change on new entrants. Politically, The Guardian's reporting and podcast coverage suggests Labour is still struggling to sell the package as legislation hits Parliament, keeping cost of living, housing supply and fairness arguments front and centre. For the Australian Public Service and Integrity settings, The Guardian reports renewed scrutiny of the National Anti-Corruption Commission after former Commissioner Paul Brereton appeared at Senate estimates. The thrust is that public confidence has been damaged and the government now faces pressure to strengthen the agency's credibility and operating settings, with integrity policy again becoming a live governance issue. On foreign and strategic policy, the conversation argues the Quad may not meet again this year, but says the partnership still has a vital role, implying continuity rather than collapse in Australia's Indo-Pacific posture, even amid shifting U.S. politics. In science and technology, a notable setback. Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket reportedly exploded on a launch pad during a test, described by the company as an anomaly. It's a reminder that the commercial space race remains high risk, with potential knock-on effects for launch schedules, satellite deployment timelines, and the broader tech supply chain. Finally, local and public safety developments. ABC and the BBC report a Canadian man accused of selling lethal chemicals online has admitted aiding suicide, after Interpol previously alerted Australian police that packages were sent to Australia, prompting welfare checks. It's likely to sharpen attention on cross-border enforcement, online marketplaces, and the regulation of dangerous substances. That's the latest on the material developments shaping markets, policy and security today.